For the first time under Liam Rosenior, Chelsea have dropped points in the Premier League, and it was a total 2-2 disaster class. We went from prime Barcelona ball to 6 minutes defensive meltdown that I can't even explain. From the defensive lapses and that massive Copama miss at the depth, to the few silver linings like Joao Pedro and Andrey Santos. We are breaking down everything we learned from this game that should have been buried. Before we dive into this review, if you are new here, welcome to the channel. Or if you have been following me for a while, you know the drills. Help your boy get to that 10k subscriber mark. Let's dive into it. Look, I'm going to be real with you. My head is absolutely gone. Like actually gone. At this rate, my sanity is receding faster than my hairline. I am emotionally downcast. To go from 2-0 up and cruising to 2-2 in span of 6 agonizing minutes is utterly unacceptable. There's no other word for it. That match was a classic Chelsea emotional roller coaster. 1 minute we are buzzing, watching the attacking flair and thinking we have turned the corner. And the next minute we are watching a defensive collapse that leaves us all wondering what actually happened. We know Leeds always bring the chaotic, high press energy, but come on, this is Stamford Bridge. It should never be easy, but when you hold the card we held, this isn't a draw. It's a 2 points drop and handed on a silver platter. We have to talk about how this happened, which leads me straight into the first thing we learned, and that is we bottled it. Let's not mince words here, we bottled it. There's no other way to frame this disaster. When you are playing at home against a side fighting for consistency and you hold a 2-goal leading into the closing stage, you have to kill the game, period. Today I watched us play one of the best football I have seen this season. We were dominant, we were fluid. We went 2 goals up and then we chose to self-destruct. We throw away the lead, watch Copama of all people miss a sitter and let the game slip into a draw. I am pained, genuinely. Just look at the numbers because they tell a story of a crime. 66% ball possession, 4 big chances, 19 shots, an XG of 3.93 to Leeds 1.77. And according to Opta, Chelsea generated an expected goal tally of 3.7 from their 19 shots against Leeds, the highest XG in the Premier League game without winning since the 2-2 draw in March 2024 against Burnley. Wasteful doesn't even cover it. This is a staggering amount of creativity gone to waste. Now we have to talk about the turning point because it came from my personal favorite, Moises Caicedo. That launch for the penalty was so uncharacteristic, it was rash, it gave Leeds a lifeline that they didn't deserve. But I have to be fair. Despite giving away that penalty, my general had a solid game. He finished with a 7.3 rating, 1 big chance created, 1 key pass, 1 accurate cross, 90% accurate passes, 6 defensive contribution, 1 tackle won, 2 interception, 1 shot block, 3 recoveries, 3 ground duel won, 1 penalty committed. It was everywhere, but that one moment of madness cost us. As a collective, we lacked the dark arts required to see out a way. Instead of slowing the tempo, instead of killing the clock in the corners, we stayed heavy transition, we left the door open, and we invited Leeds back into our final third. These results highlighted a massive soft underbelly in this squad. The moment Leeds ramped up the pressure, our composure just evaporated into thin air. Honestly, it's a bitter pill to swallow because these are bread and butter points that determines whether you are actually fighting for top 4 or settling for mid-table mediocrity. But we have to keep going. Moving on to the second thing we learned. Liam Rosenior perfect starts ends. Let's talk about the boss. Before the game, Liam Rosenior was the man with the Midas touch. 4 wins out of 4. Vibes are high and everything he touched turned into goal. But today, this match showed the brutal limits of our tactical setup when injury starts to bite. I mean, look at the 11 we put out. Sanchez in goal, a defense of Gusto, Acheampong, Chalobah, Cucurella, a midfield of Caicedo and Andrey Santos, attack of Palma, Enzo, Trevoh, and Joao Pedro leading the line. On paper, this was a perfect lineup. I won't lie, for a huge chunk of that game, I saw us play one of the best football I've seen us play all season. We were bopping the ball around them, opening them up, making Leeds look like they were down to 10 men. It was beautiful. But for me, I can't sit here and blame Liam Rosenior for the result. He set us up to win. These players, honestly, they were absolutely pants in the second half. They switched off. After the game, Liam Rosenior tried to protect them. I don't think it was a tactical or structural issue in this game. I just think we make poor decisions in key moments, and I never blame individuals. It's a team moment. He also adds, I hope people see the progression already. There is a change in things I like to see. Look, I see the progression, we all do. But being forced to start young Josh Acheampong because Rhys James is out, That shows our squad depth isn't as robust as we may think. And honestly, this is an honest question. Where is Rich James? Because he hasn't been available for our last 3 matches. The captain absence is looming large over this collapse culture. And I also think Liam Rosenior will be kicking himself for the substitution. Taking off Trevoh for Pedro Neto at 2-0 seems logical to keep things fresh. But we lost our defensive shape in the midfield almost immediately after that. Pedro Neto finished with a 6.9 rating, 1 key pass, 1 accurate cross, 92% accurate passes. Neto wasn't bad, but the momentum shifted. By the time the subsequent subs, Delap and Fofana came on, the damage was already done. Fofana looked solid when he entered the fray, which makes this draw more annoying. He finished with a 7.1 rating, 3 defensive contribution, 1 interception, 1 clearance, 1 recovery, 2 ground duel won, 2 area duel won, 0 time dribbled past. If the defense was solid once he came on, why did we wait to 2-2 to tighten things up? We are literally beating ourselves at this point, which leads me to the third thing we learned: defensive fragility. For a club that prides itself on legendary backline, men who will bleed for a clean sheet, this performance was a tough watch. The lack of communication out there, it was glaring, it was loud. I'm telling you now, if we sort our defense, we won't just be struggling for top 4, we'll be fighting for the title. I'm very sure of that. The talent is there, but the discipline is missing. We have to talk about that 6-minute meltdown. To go from 2-0 up and cruising to 2-2 in blink of an eye is completely unacceptable for a team with Champions League aspiration. We were playing a centre back of Acheampong and Chalobah, and for that second goal, they were at the crime scene. Chalobah finished with a 6.7 rating, 9 defensive contribution, 2 interception, 7 clearance, 2 recoveries, 2 ground duel won, 5 area duels won, 0 time dribbled past. On paper, Chalobah did a lot of work, but the stats don't show the lack of leadership when the walls started closing in. Then we have the youngster, Acheampong. He finished with a 5.8 rating, 5 defensive contribution, 1 tackle, 1 interception, 3 clearance, 3 recoveries, 1 ground duel won, 1 area duel won, 1 error leading to a goal. That 5.8 rating was a stinker, let's be honest. But here is what I have to say: I would rather play him, let him learn from his mistakes and improve, than see senior players making this same mistake week in, week out. He's young and he's being thrown into the deep end. He will grow from this. Even Liam Rosenior knew we let them off the hook. We shouldn't be in the position. The game should be done at 2-0. I need to show the players certain things to make sure that doesn't happen again. That 6 minutes collapse was a hard watch. From Caicedo unnecessary challenge for the penalty to the comedy of errors involving Chalobah and Acheampong through Cafor's equalizer. The lack of composure was staggering. For all our progress under Liam Rosenior, the defensive organization during this chaos moment still feel incredibly fragile. We are one gust of wind from a collapse every time we concede. But I need to find some light in this darkness. Let's move to the silver lining. Joao Pedro is on fire. If there was a silver lining in this dark, frustrating cloud, it was the performance of Joao Pedro. Right now, he looks like the only player capable of making something happen out of nothing. He's playing on a different planet. He finished with a 7.5 rating, 1 goal, 7 shots, 1 on target, 1 penalty won. But it's more than just a single game. He's entering the elite territory for a Brazilian in the league. Joao Pedro is just the 4th Brazilian to score 10 plus goals in back-to-back Premier League season, after Robert Firmino, Richarlison and Matheus Cunha. Joao Pedro has already matched his best ever Premier League return in a single season, equaling his 2024-2025 tally for Brighton. He's the gravity in our attack. His ability to drop deep, turn and drive at defense is world class. He isn't just scoring, he's pulling the Leeds defense out of position and creating gap for everyone else. While others were being wasteful, Joao Pedro showed the clinical edge and composure we desperately needed across the front line. At this rate, he isn't just a starter, he's the first name on the team sheet. And Liam Rosenior knows he found a gem too. Joao Pedro suits the way I want to play to the ground. He's showing energy, intensity and quality that is at really high level. But we have to talk about the Iceman melting. It's rare to say this, but Cole Palmer actually cost us 3 points at the death. He was brilliant for 70 minutes. The assist was class, the penalty was ice cold, but the 92nd minute miss will haunt his highlight reel for a long time. Moises Caicedo puts it on a plate for him, just a yard out from an open goal, and he somehow sent it to the shred ends. Cole Palmer with a last minute 0.91 xG miss. Even Liam Rosenior couldn't believe it. Liam Rosenior and Cole Palmer miss He's in the position 999 times out of 1000 he scores. It's just that one moment we shouldn't be in that position. The game should have done at 2-0. He finished with a 7.5 rating, 1 goal, 1 assist, 1 big chance created, 4 key passes, 1 accurate cross, 5 shots, 2 on target, 1 big chance missed. It was heartbreaking because that last minute miss completely overshadowed what was an otherwise a top tier performance. If that goes in, we aren't talking about collapse, we are talking about a gritty win. But he didn't. And that leads us to the final thing with them. Santos is the future. If you had any doubts about the hype surrounding Andrey Santos, go back and watch the tapes. This match proved he belongs in the starting 11 permanently. Even in a draw that feels like a loss, his quality was undeniable. He was the heartbeat of that midfield today. Just look at the efficiency he played with. He finished with a 7.2 rating, 97% accurate passes, 80 touches, 4 defensive contribution, 2 tackles, 1 interception, 1 recovery, 6 out of 6 ground duel won. That 6 out of 6 ground duel won is the start of the match for me. He was the engine room. His work rate was phenomenal. He was one of the few players constantly looking to progress the ball rather than taking cowardly safe sideways option. He was sending Chalobah away for fun all night. He plays with a level of aggression and spectacle awareness that makes you forget how young he is. While other senior players look panicked and flustered, Santos remained calm. Building the midfield around his energy and vision isn't a prospect for next year anymore. It's a requirement for right now. And we have to give the flowers to another man whose performance was completely overshadowed by this result. Enzo Fernandez. He started out of position as a left winger, which had all of us scratching our heads, but he absolutely held his own. He was arguably the best player on the pitch. He finished with an 8.0 rating, 5 key passes, 1 accurate cross, 91% accurate passes, 3 total shots, 1 on target, 98 touches, 4 defensive contribution, 1 tackle won, 1 clearance, 3 recoveries, 6 ground duel won. An 8.0 rating and we still didn't win. It's sickening to have Enzo Fernandez and Santos putting in shifts like that, controlling the tempo, winning their duels, only for the backline to switch off for 6 minutes. Honestly, it's a waste of top tier talent. So here it is. 5 things we learned from a match that should have been a statement win, but ended up being a statement of our own fragility. We have the flair, we have the generals in midfield like Santos and Enzo, we have the superstar in Joao Pedro, but until we find our spine and learn to kill games, we are going to keep feeling like this. And with that said, that's the end of the video, my friends. Make sure you like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.